Today is really a step where we need to have this C-suite and leadership engagement. What I mean by this is we need them to work in a kind of new ways of working and kind of give up on this old world of 5 years roadmap and multi-year project planning and work with the kind of product mindset where it's all about the value delivered to the customer and how to adjust iteratively your product and services and drive on organizations.
I'd like to welcome all the people who are on this episode of Engati Engage. I am your host, Hatem, and today we've got content marketing genius Cyril Coste on our show. But before we begin our interview, allow me to introduce you to the magic of Engati. Engati is the leading multilingual no-code chatbot platform available across 14 channels and with 25,000 bots created across 186 countries in every domain and use case possible. Engati has also been recognized as a top platform by INC.com, TechWorld, CIO, and many others. We run the Engati blog, video channel, and the Engati Engage podcast, receiving upwards of 300,000 visitors annually. And now for our guest, Cyril. So he's an accomplished digital and product director with a strong reputation as a digital expert and thought leader. His accolades include a number one ranking on the UK's most influential independent digital transformation experts power list, 2PS, that's 2017 and 2018, and being named in the global top 100 digital transformation influencers. He brings vast cross-sector experience in digital transformation, digitalization, strategy development, product development, digital innovation, customer experience, business analysis, and e-commerce. He is also a part of Huawei's Key Opinion Leader program and Siemens Influencer community. Hi, Cyril. We're really happy to have you on the Engati Engage episode. Scoop into the questions. There's a quick announcement. We have a special something for you. So stick around till the end of the interview and we'll let you know. So, Cyril, jumping on to the questions, why is digital transformation the key imperative for most organizations today?
Well, if you haven't started today, you are in a lot of trouble, to be fair. So I really hope that whoever is watching this video has already started their digital journey, digital transformation journey, probably 5-6 years ago. More than ever, I'm not going to use the COVID-19 crisis to illustrate it because this is an exceptional event. We need to find a way to be better. Organizations as individuals, we need to do things better, faster, cheaper. What digital transformation has brought is understanding of your customer, understanding of how your employees work. And by combining these two and providing tools, we've been able to deliver better products, better services. And this is why companies who have invested early in digital transformation have seen a better return over investment. What to do now? What is next? I think we are, reaching a kind of the transformation the past 10 years, really. I think now everybody has invested in training for employees, and we can see that methodologies, new ways of working are implemented in most companies. New toolings in organizations, being able to work remotely, to share documents, information easily with your team, your clients, your partners, wherever you are in the world. So this has been enabled by cloud technology, etc. Big data, AI, machine learning, a new vision, a new understanding of your customers. And here I'm really talking about the retail and e-commerce space and the online marketing activities. New channels. So this decade has really been the explosion, of the past decade of Facebook, really, Instagram, and now we are seeing next generation with a Snapchat and TikTok, with very ambitious ideas around augmented reality and virtual reality. It will be very interesting to see where it goes. Automation, robots. Also, we in the past decade we have been able to automate a lot of tasks, a lot of boring tasks, boring, repetitive, in terms of collecting information, treating information, analyzing, sharing. So this has been like kind of well automated now. In terms of targeting, personalization of message, now we are able also to deliver better service and better products because we have this capacity of analysis. And that's already quite a lot. So you see, this past decade has been quite a long journey. There's been a lot of bubbles. Big data, automation, and there was every year there was a buzzword, and they all combine at the end to provide a comprehensive journey. As a customer, as a consumer of physical product and services, whatever I do these days in Europe, in the US, I will interact with digital tooling, technologies in a very different way than what it was 10 years ago. That's it. So if you haven't started yet, be quick.
Yeah. So moving on to the second question, according to you, what are the key steps a business should focus on in its journey to, going digital, even if they haven't started yet?
You always start with your customer. So it's about defining the customer value. So once you have identified the customer value and you have an idea about the journey about your customer, how it's going to find your products, how you're going to buy, how it's going to consume, how it's going to repeat the purchase, how you're going to be vocal about the quality of your products. So the kind of full scope journey. You need to have an idea about this journey, the digital touch, and from here, build a product, minimum viable product, MVP, as we say. You can, optimize the way you are going to deliver the value, improving your operating processes, decreasing your operating cost, always keeping in mind the interest of the customer first.
Right.
And through this, you're going to deliver, create products and test products and services where you are going to collect feedbacks to be ensured that basically what you are delivering is what the customer needs and wants. So this is really the first step in your journey, is put the customer at the center of your organization, understand him, act on insights that they provide to you.
Right, that does make sense. So, let's say, like, how will retail businesses change and adapt when we see such a steep rise in e-commerce?
Oh gosh, that's an area that I know pretty well. The challenge for retailers. So you have two types really of retailers online. So you have the pure digital players who have never had to manage a store. Okay. And for them, it has always been easier because they didn't come with a certain mentality. They had to build this mentality, and they had to build their tools. They had to build their operating processes. They had to build their customer journeys based on something new from scratch. It's very different, for example, for Walmart, Tesco, or Carrefour, because they start from existing organization. So when they started at the beginning, it was really like an additional channel. They say, oh, we have the stores, and e-commerce is purely an additional channel. And this has been a big mistake. It was easy to set up, but you completely lost the seamless omni-channel experience and the cross-pollination that you could benefit from the knowledge from your online experience, from the in-store experience. Today, thanks to a lot of investment, mostly in CRM and marketing tools, this difference between the in-store and online experience is kind of disappearing. Okay, it's leverage, which means that whatever offering promotions you have online, you can have it in stores, and vice versa. When you are in store, and if the product is not available, you have access about the inventory online, and vice versa. You can see online inventory in store. So a lot has been done in the past 10 years. Still a lot to do. I'm still shocked that every time I make a grocery delivery, online grocery delivery, still some products are missing, and they offer substitutions, which are not substitutions, because if I want to buy Coca-Cola, I don't want Pepsi Cola as a substitution. So that's probably the big challenge for. So this is for the kind of grocery part. From the fashion e-commerce and fashion retail, which is really the blood of this business in terms of online activities. In the next 10 years, it's going to be very different from today. About 15 to 20% of fashion orders online are returned. And the cost is phenomenal for an organizations to manage this return. You have to receive the items. You have to restock them if you can, or you have to resell them on second-hand market. You have to process the refunds, etc. So processing returns is costing an absolute fortune to fashion retailers. So and I've been working on this quite a few years ago. The idea is basically, if we can scan your body, okay, and today almost every smartphone in the world can scan and provide a 3D scan of your kind of body. We have your exact measurements. Once we have your exact measurements, we can adjust the size. Right. And sizing is everything. So for fashion retailers, basically, the key for the next few years to get the sizing right, because every percentage of decrease in their return is 3-4 points more for their bottom line. It's absolutely gigantic. So how we can get the sizing right? 3D scanning of your body, of our body, is a solution. Yeah. And what is nice is that, you can do a scan in summer, you can do a scan in winter, you gain weight, you lose weight, you'll be able to adjust your sizing on the go. So we are coming there. Just a few years away, I think, from finding a kind of standard that will have to really be useful for fashion retailers. So that's really the two big markets, online grocery and fashion retailers. And how, in my view, is going to change. It's very mature market. This market are, a large part of the populations online use them. They are well operated, well funded. There is a business model. The past 25 years, it's already a quarter of century for e-commerce. It has proven to be a successful business model. And yeah.
So, how will influencer marketing be the next strategy for businesses to be heard in the world full of internet noise?
That's a very good question, and I receive this question quite often. So there is if we start with one stat, more than 90% of the B2B people buy a product or services that has been influenced by a word of mouth. And if you compare this over 90% with 25% from the B2C market, it gives you an idea about the importance of influencer in the B2B market. We always talk about, Instagram influencers and the explosions of this market, of this industry, because it becomes an industry in itself. And you try to transpose it after on the B2B market is quite different. So it's still a market which is very patchy. Okay, there is no what is a B2B influencer, B2B marketing influencer. Is that someone who creates contents? Is that someone who has authority, to participate to TV debate? Is that someone who writes books? So there is no clear definition of what is an influencer. We know that basically to be an influencer, you need roughly two things. You need credibility. You need to bring experience, skills in the discussion, on a form of authority. Something that you have done, delivered, and you have proven to be useful, and that basically what you say is of value. How is that going to be used in the next few years? So I've noticed that you have more and more agencies trying to, organize and packaging services for companies that include influencers marketing.
Yeah.
I myself, contacted to participate to some program, and I work with a couple of large companies on these topics. I would say we are going to see a split. Let's say you're going to have a very niche B2B market, because you can be an influencer in every single niche and sub-niche in the world. So if you want to be the IoT specialist for the car industry in Germany, that's a very small niche. So we are going to see a growth in the number of B2B influencers, and that's a good thing. It will be very niche, more and more specialized. This is what I've really noticed. So influencers with a smaller audience, but far more specialized, far more technical and depth in their knowledge. And at the same time, you will probably see, and you have already interviewed some of them, influencers more generalist in a sense. This is also what I am. I'm more connected in the end-to-end journey, connect the dots, and not necessarily, going deep in some specific topics. I do what I need to do. So I think this is what is going to be this. A part of the influencer market is going to be more built on generalist, and another part really on niche. And I think it's a good thing, because you can't know now the digital transformation market compared to where it was 10 years ago is complex. Look at, if you just talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning, how much you need to know to really master this topic. If you talk about blockchain, and if you want to build, let's say, a specific token for an application, you also need to know quite a lot. These are topics that 10 years ago didn't really exist in the digital transformation market. So it becomes more and more challenging today to know everything, be able to talk about everything. So that's why it's time that we see more and more B2B niche market influencers.
Okay, that sounds fair enough. Any other thoughts that you'd like to share with our audience?
One thing that has surprised me, in a sense, is I don't have the answer. Is I haven't noticed that the education system has really changed in the past 10 years to provide skills and knowledge required to drive digital transformation. What we've seen really in the past 10 years is now transformation project being very well led and managed and by any type of organizations. It took them a bit of time at the beginning, to take off, because they really wanted to keep the old IT transformation typical project structure, because it was their bread and butter. So it took a lot of time for the large firms to adjust and to this new reality. Now I think we are quite there. 10 years ago, it was very much focused on the customer experience journey, how we could make their life better, and we know them better. About 5 years ago, we focused quite a lot on the employee engagement journey. I say, how do we provide tooling, the experience to the staff to better work with customers, clients, partners? Today is really a step where we need to have this C-suite and leadership engagement. What I mean by this is we need them to work in a kind of new ways of working and kind of give up on this old world of 5 years roadmap and multi-year project planning, and work with a kind of product mindset where it's all about the value delivered to the customer and how to adjust iteratively your product and services. And drive an organization that is focused on products, not products. It's a big change because it changes how you finance your project, it changes how you structure your organization. But what we ask their teams, their IT teams 10 years ago to work, agile, new ways of working, embrace the idea. Then these ideas move to finance, operations, marketing, and now basically see whole organizations working using these tools and thinking. And the only ones right now, especially in large organizations, that are still allergic of using these ways of working is the C-suite and the senior leaders. And they really need to change it. I have no doubt that, because how the way works in 5 to 10 years, most of the C-suite basically will come from agile and new ways of working background, because they will have started when they started working. But it's really important these days that at the top, they need to use the same thinking and the same methodology that the rest of the organization. Otherwise, what I'm seeing is a divide between an organization that is agile, reactive, really focusing on the customer, and a C-suite that is more focused on financial returns and organization spinning. So that's really my last thought for you, Hatim.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cyril, for giving us your time. Your insights were really valuable. I know our audience is really going to enjoy this interview. So, audience, if you've stuck around for this long, we're excited to announce that our ebook, The Evolution of Customer Experience, is out and available to download. So, thank you so much, Cyril. And we'll be back with a new episode with a brand new expert soon. So, stay tuned, and we'll see you around the next.
Thank you, Hatim, for having me.